Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Today is that time of year where I talk about my favorite ships of 2024. I'm so excited to talk about all the ones that I loved this year. What's always really fun for me making these lists is looking at who I have on it and the ones that I didn't even know existed or would exist at the beginning of the year, because it makes me excited for when a new year starts, like looking forward to what ships I'm going to discover in the upcoming year that I have no idea exist right now. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. And as always, they're not in like a particular order except for really like the top 3 or 4. Like number 1 is going to be my favorite ship of the year, like the ship that I was most obsessed with. But aside from that, like the rest of them are just kind of in a random order. It's not like I like this ship more than that one or anything. First up, I have from a show that apparently it's been over for like 2 or 3 years, but that is Miss Fisher's Modern Mysteries. So this is a spin-off of Miss Fisher's Mysteries, which is a TV show based on a book series, I believe. This is about Miss Fisher's niece in Australia. So she's solving mysteries. It's in the 60s, so she's got like this awesome like wardrobe. The set design is really fun, and she is a private investigator who is often butting heads with the local like police guy, James. So like I said, this show, it airs on PBS here and it's been done, which is really sad. Like the end episode like definitely ended on a nice note of them like getting together, but it's just one of those things like they got together and now you're not going to get to see them like actually like spend a lot of time as a couple together. So it's just like frustrating when it's like so much of it was them apart, and then when they finally get together, show's like, it's done. And like I said, it aired here new in like April, like beginning of this year. And then when I looked it up on Wikipedia to see if there were gonna be more seasons, no episodes, no production, no movement since like 2021, like it was a really long time. It is a small ship, so there's not like a ton of like fan fiction I can read about them or anything, but I just think they're really cute. It's like that very like stereotypical, but like for me, one of my favorite ships of like grumpy like detective that's like by the book, and then this like very fun independent like private investigator who's just like, you know what, I'm gonna sneak into the crime scene and I'm gonna solve this because I think you got the wrong guy. And the guy's like, we do not have the wrong guy. And then like slowly they start to realize it. It's just really cute, really fun. Like I said, I like the time of it all, and I think they're just really fun characters. It is sad that there's not going to be more of them, but I enjoyed them for what we had. Coming in at number 9, I have Fabian, Arameus Seacaster, and Mazey from the latest season of Fantasy High, which was junior year. I am so obsessed with this couple. I really went through it with this one because when Mazey was like first introduced, there was kind of a like flirty like maybe thing with Fabian, and then it seemed like Fabian just like wasn't interested. Then it seemed like Fabian really blew it by just like being so awkward. So to have them come full circle and like actually like be friends and then go on a date and be a couple, and a power couple at that, was really fun. I really enjoyed Mazey like outside of like the relationship. Like she's a really awesome character and a nice addition to it. And it was nice considering that like all the established relationships for the most part that we had known in the Fantasy High world, Gorgug and Zelda and Kristen and Tracker, were on the outs. It was nice to have this new relationship. We've never seen like romantic Fabian really. We've seen him like lovesick over Aelwyn, but we've never seen like him in an actual relationship outside of that. So it's just a really cute feature to add to his character, and I just really love them. I love a battle couple, and they're just so cute. And like her being involved in like the final battle and him like literally having to fight her when she gets taken over was just really good. And I hope if we get a senior year that they're going to be back and stronger than ever. Number 8, I have another D&D couple. Very strong year for the D&D couples, and that is Dorian and Orym. Now, let me be honest, I do not watch Critical Role anymore. I just feel like I got so behind, and then when you get behind, it just feels so insurmountable to catch back up. Not impossible, but just like a Herculean task. So I have been behind on this, but like keeping track of it on like Instagram, Tumblr, and stuff like that, and to see Dorian and Orym are a couple, I first like found out when it was pretty much like they're gonna be a couple, like it's established that like they like each other, but hadn't like actually confessed their feelings for each other yet. That's when I first found out about the ship. So then of course I start like following the tag on Tumblr and like keeping an eye out for stuff, and when the official declaration of like, hey, like kiss me, here's a kiss came, That was just so cute. I love an unexpected couple. And again, maybe if I had been following the season, I would have seen it coming more, that it wasn't like so unexpected. But I did watch Exandria when it was the first introduction to Orym and Dorian. And there wasn't like there was like stuff, but it wasn't like anything like couple-wise vibes between them or anything. I don't know. It just feels like watching these people who I knew since their introduction now fall in love. And there's just, I think it's that idea of like the person that's the best person and the person for you being someone that's been there all along and you didn't even realize it until now. I think that's just such a like touching moment, and I really, really love it. So I hope they get their happy ending. It is, you know, Critical Role, so it could be bad, and Liam does not have the best track record of like his relationships ending good, so hopefully this can be the curse breaker though, right? And I just really love them, and I'm excited to see what is in store for them, and hopefully a happy ending. After that, I have a 2-for-1 deal because they're from the same book universe, so I figured just put them together because they're kind of pretty equal. And that is from My Salty Mary, which I just recently read by the Lady Janies. And the two couples in that are Mary and Tobias, and Jack and Anne Bonny. I love these couples so much. I love them both individually. I think they're different in what they do, but it's showing a relationship with people who are just perfect for each other. In Tobias's and Mary's, for example, they are very much like friends, mates, besties who just like have each other's back at all costs, know each other's secrets and everything except for the part where she's a mermaid, but we'll talk about that, and just get each other inside and out. They're perfect for each other, and it's just a really nice relationship of seeing people who have that friendship develop into more and just completely trust and love each other and can be so open with each other. Then we have Jack and Anne, who, for all, like, I think I love it even more because I could see it written in such a different way, and I'm glad they didn't go down that route of Anne is just like an absolute firecracker. Like, she wants to fight, she wants to be a pirate, like she's gonna throw fists and then ask questions later. So I could easily see her where Jack is someone more even-tempered and like kind of pulls her back, gets annoyed when she starts fights or all that, but no, they decided to make Jack absolutely love his battle-ready woman. Like, when she is throwing punches and making men bleed, like, he is even more in love with her than ever, and I just think it's really cute. And she also doesn't like look down on him for not being like as good of a fighter or like not as into the fight as she is. Like, they love each other for who they are, and I just think it's so sweet and adorable. And I think, like I said, different from what you would expect of like people being like, I love them even though they do this, and instead it's like, I love them even more because they do this, and it's just really, really cute. So 2 great couples in one book. I highly recommend it. Continuing with the books, I have Hex and Cole from The Nightmare Before Christmas. This book is so cute, one of my favorites of the year, and again, a couple that I think was different from what I expected, because when you say like you've got the Prince of Christmas and the Prince of Halloween, at least for me, I'm thinking like really cheery, right? And then really grumpy and moody. And it was like the complete opposite of what you would expect, like not broody at all. He's quiet and he's shy, but like he's not broody or like grumpy or like, I don't know, that like emo kind of guy you think of when you think of like 2012 love interest, which is what I thought he was gonna be. Like, he's just shy, and it's just cute to see like that portrayed of like he's shy around other people, but like when he opens up to people that he likes or he feels comfortable, like he's really funny and really like happy. And the funny thing is he's actually more cheery and joyful and positive and light than the actual Prince of Christmas, who is more sarcastic. He doesn't like see a point in trying with stuff because he's just kind of been beaten down, and them finding each other and it being that like the Prince of Halloween lightens him up and makes him see hope and positivity again is just really, really great, but also like great because of how unexpected it is and how that flip of like what I think most people would go into expecting was. They're an awesome relationship in many ways. Like the chemistry obviously off the charts, but the like communication they have is just so open and so easygoing, and it's just a really great example of like what a good relationship should be. There's gonna be a second book in the series which is about Cole's brother falling in love with the Prince of St. Patrick's Day, which I'm excited about, and I'm sure like these two will pop up in the background a little bit, so it'll be fun to see them. But yeah, I just love them, and again, I love the unexpectedness of them, and I can't get enough. In the number 5 spot, I have Morgan and Karadec from the new show High Potential. I love this show. I love this show. I love this show. It's based on a French show where Morgan and Karadec are like actually together, so I'm hoping they'll follow that lead and like get these characters together. It's a very like, if you're in the fan fiction circles, you can see where it's going, but I'm sure like when I'm watching it with my mom, she's gonna be surprised if they actually do get together, you know, that kind of thing. It's very much like enemies to lovers right now. They are very like at each other's throats, like bug each other, especially Morgan with Karadec, like she knows how to push his buttons, but I think it's realizing there's like fun in that, and like it's slowly gonna turn into like them realizing they care about each other a lot more than they realize. And I think it's gonna be more on Karadec's part is gonna be the really fun thing, because Morgan I feel like is gonna be like, yeah, I like him, or just like she's very like extroverted, and I feel like he's gonna be like, oh, what the heck? When did this woman get so important to me? And I cannot wait. Even the preview, because it's been like a month since like there's been new episodes, but even the preview for next year's new episodes show like him starting to get a little love struck by her, and I am very excited to see what's gonna happen. I just love that like rapport of like, again, it's similar to like the James and Peregrine one that I talked about, where it's like this like very like extroverted, independent woman, and then like this just like buttoned up cop who like follows the rules and stuff like that, and them like just getting on each other's toes but then realizing they're perfect for each other. So I love it, and I can't wait to see how it develops. In my number 4 spot, I have Kate and Tyler from Twisters. Listen, I'm not a Glen Powell girl, okay? Like, I was not getting the hype, and I think Glen Powell as a whole, I still don't really get the hype, but something about him, specifically as Tyler and Twisters, like, really, I was like, oh, this I get. And I really, really loved his relationship with Kate. The interesting thing is, like, normally I feel like movies are overly reliant sometimes on romance and like cram a romance in there when there doesn't need to be. This one did the opposite, where it's like they actually cut the kiss out when people like really wanted a kiss between Kate and Tyler, and I am bitter about that, but I also respect them for that, because I feel like it's very cool that like they were like, you know what, we're gonna give like the hints that like they like each other and that they'll probably be in a relationship, but we're not going to be overt about it and like let the audience figure it out on their own. So I respect them for that. I think they're just so cute. And again, this is one that I love because it's like clearly Guy falls first, and like just the way he is like so enamored with her for like not only like what she knows, but like what she can do, and just like loves her equally for like who she is, and then meets her where she is for like loving Twisters and stuff like that, and tornadoes and all that research, and seeing them like mind meld over like figuring out research and stuff like that, as well as like flirting over pizza, is really cute. The fact that she is mean to him at the part where like he's like looking for a dog and she's like, wow, you guys are just like selling t-shirts and like really going in for money and stuff like that, and like she's in the wrong, because then she finds out like they're selling the t-shirts to like raise money for the people that need the food. She's totally in the wrong in that, right? And then cut to him showing up at her hotel room with an apology pizza, being like, I'm sorry. And I was like, the power this woman has over him, I can't. So they're just really, really cute. And I really think they had great chemistry, and just like, it also has like my favorite trope when it's like the guy, like them looking at like a tornado and her being like, wow, it's beautiful. And he's like looking at her, but she doesn't see it. And he's like, yeah, it sure is. Like, oh, it's just so cute and so shippy. And I feel like a fanfic writer was in the writer's room for this, you know? Like, I don't know who's the secret fanfic shipper in there, but I see you if you're including those tropes, and I thank you for it. Number 3, this is a bit of a deep dive, so stay with me, but it's Penelope and Odysseus from Epic. This was truly the year of the epic, the Troy Saga. It's the year I got into it fully, and it's also the year that it ended. I feel like for so much of it, Penelope is this person that's just kind of like a figure. Like, we don't hear her for a majority of it, or if we hear her, it's like someone impersonating her, or just her in Odysseus's mind. So it was definitely this build-up, and I think it's such a credit to Jorge as a writer, as a creator, that he's able to make you feel so much for this relationship that, again, for a majority of it, you don't actually see or hear them together. It's this man who's on a journey to get back to his wife and his son at all costs, so you obviously really have to believe in that relationship and in that love for him to do the things he does and still root for him, and you absolutely do. He absolutely pulled it off. The Penelope and Odysseus, when they finally reunite, tears streaming down my face. Like, it was just so good, and I've already watched like fan animations of it, and it's just so like, I love them oh so much. And it's funny because I read the Odyssey in school and was like, could not give two hoots about it, probably because like my teacher was not good about like explaining it to us. It was like, hey, read this, and we were all like, we don't understand this because we're like teenagers, and like this is written like you'd have to study literature to understand it. This totally made me fall in love with them, and I just think the whole idea of like a man just doing anything he can to get back to his wife, and her doing her part of like undoing the loom every night and trying to keep the suitors at bay. It's just such a beautiful love story, and it's just, I love it so much, and it's just so nice to see something again that I knew about but was never really attached to in the Odyssey, see it in this new light and this new medium and really love it and enjoy it. Like, oh, they're harmonizing. Oh, Penelope, like, I love it all. I love it all. Coming in at number 2 is Jane and Guildford from My Lady Jane, a show that was, I will say it again and again, unfairly canceled. I am still so mad that we're not going to get other seasons of it, but at least it ended on a pretty good note for Jane and Guildford. Like, they weren't separated or anything like that, so I'll take the wins where I can get them. The chemistry between these two is electric. It is just like from the very start when they don't like each other. Like when you say enemies to lovers, this is what I want with enemies to lovers, okay? She is disgusted by him at the beginning. She's like, gross, get away from me. Like, you do nothing with your life. Like, I don't want this. I don't want this marriage. Like, none of it. And then to realize that this is a facade he's putting on, and to realize that he does care, it's just caring has never really benefited him and actually like got him into more trouble in the past than it has. Like, oh, and then him just like full on being like, I love you because like you're beautiful, but like you're so smart, and her realizing that like someone does love her for like her brains and all the stuff she was told is like not like correct. Like, no one's gonna like you to be smart, no one's gonna like you to be like bookworm and stuff like that. For him to be like, actually, like, I specifically thought you were really cool because I knew you were really smart and could help me fix my horse shifting abilities. Just her realizing that and him being so in love and in awe of her and everything she does, like, it's just so cute. And the battle fight too, when they're like fighting and then they just start like making out. Oh, it's just, it's iconic. It's like if you were like, hey, what's a show and a couple that we could make that would be perfect for moi? That's the show. So I thank you for making that, even though you canceled it. And they're just, I can't get enough of them. I simply cannot. It's been months since the show's been canceled, and I still delude myself into thinking they're coming back. Alright, we are at the number 1 spot, and if you watched my channel in the last couple months, I think it's no surprise who it's gonna be. The ship that I've most been obsessed with has also been a ship that hasn't been around that long and that I didn't even know existed until like end of October, and that is Rupert and Taggie from Rivals. I love this ship. I love this ship. I love this ship. It all started one day when I was on Twitter and I randomly saw, I don't even know how, I think it's because I follow these like girlies, and I gotta give it up to the Twitter girlies that just like watch these shows and then make amazing fan edits. So I saw an edit of like Rupert and Taggie, and I was like, what's this? Like, this looks very interesting, but I don't usually like age gaps, but this looks really good. And I checked it out, and yeah guys, happy to report it's good. The amount of like fan fiction I'm reading for them, the amount of like fan videos I've saved on my phone, like, it is a problem, and I just think they're so amazing. The chemistry is great, and it's also really nice because in a show that is so about like sex and scandals and all that, this is a relationship that is more about the intimacy of like knowing someone. Like, it's not physical intimacy, it's like emotional intimacy of like connecting with someone seeing you for who you are. And I think it's very telling that they're like one of the few ships that like doesn't actually like hook up by the end of it. Like, they just have a very nice kiss, and I think that shows more about the integrity of it and like how this is really something special and set apart from the different like relationships that we saw that were kind of more sex heavy and more like just fleeting and not really based on like an actual love for each other and a care for each other. So unfortunately it is going to be a little bit till we get new episodes. I saw people say like 2026 is probably when we'll see new stuff, which is just a horrendous wait, honestly, but at least it didn't get canceled. You know, that's the world we live in. 2-year wait or it got canceled. That's just what you have to pick. I love them so much. It's fun too because it's like, again, I'm not a huge age gap person at all. Like, normally I hate them. And this one for me, I think it's just because she like literally, she likes him, but also she calls him out on his shite. It's not just like her blindly following him around. There's not like any element to being like, oh, he's clearly like setting her up to fall in love with him. Like, I feel like if anything, this guy's giving all the signs of don't fall in love with me, and she still is like, oh, like, I see that you can be better, you know? So I'm excited to see where that goes and where that develops. But yeah, they were definitely like my favorite moments of Rivals. It's a good show on its own, but they were definitely my favorite moments of like the show itself. And I think Taggie as a character is just so amazing. Rupert needs some work, but that's what Taggie's for, to help him be like his best self, you know? And I think like it's just really fun, and it's really great. Again, it's different. Like, again, I think that's why it works, because it's not like a weird age gap. It's not like she's just like following him around like crush on him. It's like she's her own person, and she's like, buddy, shape up or ship up. Like, I'm not gonna wait around for you, you know? And I just love it. So there you go. Those are my favorite ships of 2024. As always, please feel free to leave your favorite ships, or if you liked any of these, down below in the comments, which ones you're loving. I'd love to hear them all and discuss it. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!